Prosecutors in Baltimore on Wednesday, July 27th, ended their effort to prosecute the 6 officers charged with killing Freddie Gray after failing to secure convictions in 4 earlier trials. Later that day, survivors of police brutality and activists gathered at Baltimore City Hall to speak out about the move. The decision to drop charges against the 3 remaining officers facing trial came on the day of a pre-trial hearing for Officer Garrett Miller, whose trial was set to start on Thursday in Baltimore City. Prosecutor Marilyn Mosby had stunned the city by filing charges against 6 officers just days after Gray's death of a broken neck suffered in a police wagon sparked protests and outrage in April 2015.
In these cases, my prosecutors presented a great deal of evidence to support the charges alleged. And although we came close to convicting one of the officers when his case was tried before 12 Baltimore City residents, the judge, who is within his right, has made it clear that he doesn't agree with the state's theory of the case and does not believe that any of the actions or inactions of these officers rise to the level of criminality.
The death of the 25-year-old was one in a series of high-profile killings of black suspects at the hands of police that stoked a national debate on police tactics and the treatment of minorities.
Without real substantive reforms to the current criminal justice system, we could try this case 100 times and cases just like it, and we would still end up with the same result. Accordingly, I have decided not to proceed on the cases against Officer Garrett, Sergeant Alicia White, or to relitigate the case against William Porter. As a mother, the decision not to proceed on these trials, on the remaining trials, is agonizing. However, as a chief prosecutor elected by the citizens of Baltimore, I must consider the dismal likelihood of conviction at this point.
While Mosby said the police department on a whole cooperated with the investigation, individuals within it worked actively against her case.
Individual police officers that were witnesses to the case, yet were part of the investigative team. Interrogations that were conducted without asking the most poignant questions. Lead detectives that were completely uncooperative and started a counter-investigation to disprove the state's case by not executing search warrants pertaining to text messages among the police officers involved in the case, creating videos to disprove the state's case without our knowledge, creating notes that were drafted after the case was launched to contradict the medical examiner's conclusion, turning these notes over to defense attorneys months prior to turning them over to the state, and yet doing it in the middle of trial. As you can see, whether investigating, interrogating, testifying, cooperating, or even complying with the state, we've all bore witness to an inherent bias that is a direct result of when police police them.